Queen of Tax Deeds, and right now I'm going to try to figure out the value of a property. So I'm going to start at the property appraiser's website for that particular county, and this one here is in Brevard. So I'm selecting Brevard, PA, and I'm going to, from Brevard, they've got a link right here that says property search. So I just come over here and put in the name of the person, and you see here they give you an example that you should do first name then last name. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've pulled up two. It turns out this person has two properties, so I need to figure out what are the comps for these properties. So I'll start with this one first. Now, because I've searched Brevard County before, I know that I can contact the property appraiser's office or the utilities office and find out if there are utilities for this particular property. And then they respond to you with an email letting you know if there are utilities available, meaning that it can get city or county water, or I believe it's the city of Palm Bay that I can contact, because I believe this is in Palm Bay. Let's look back and see. This one is in Palm Bay. Yes, it is. And we've got the actual no address. So that is not good because it doesn't even show a street. So we're going to hope that, ooh. So you want to be really careful with your mouse. I'm on an Apple mouse. And so I accidentally just zoomed in. So one of the tips is when you're using these maps, you want to be really careful about where you're clicking and scrolling, because sometimes a scroll could be a zoom in or zoom out. So what I'm going to do now, it's a corner lot, so that's really good. And it looks like it's an oversized lot too. So it's much larger than the others, but it appears as if it's 85 feet wide and 128 here, 129 here, and then you've got 36 and 24. So this is an irregular shaped lot, which does not hurt it any, but it is irregular shaped. So when we go to figure out the square footage for this lot, it's going to be a little bit challenging. But we do see it says it's 0.29 of an acre. And we're going to check to see if they have the square footage written in here. Of course not. So they're going to make it very fun for us to figure out. So let me show you here. So I'm going to do a zoom in. And the way we're going to figure out the square footage is that we're just going to have to divide this lot right here just to do the measurements. So what I'm talking about dividing it is, as we try to figure out the square footage, we just need to divide this part right here. So I believe that's about 85 right here, because this right here is 85. So if we divide it right here, that's about 85. So I can say, and this right here is supposed to be 129. So I'm going to divide it starting from here to here. What we want to do is try to make it in a shape that we could figure out the square footage, which would be a regular shaped lot. And then the other parts that we can't figure out, we're going to have to add that up. So this becomes a little bit more challenging here. So we're going to, let me pull up some of their tools here. Measure tools. There we go. So if I were to go from there to there, it is 84 feet. And we can see that at the very bottom left, it says 84.6. So that's about 85. So that I was correct with saying 85. All right, so let me take out my sheet of paper. This is where geometry and all that other good stuff comes in handy. So we're going to assume the other side is about, we'll just say they're both sides. This, oops, we're done. So we'll say this side's 85 and then this side's 85. We'll just say 85 for both. So now we can do, and this is 128, 129. It's not that big of a difference. So we'll do 85 by 128. If it was a regular shaped lot, we can just multiply those both two sides, and that would give us the square footage. That gives us 10,880 square feet. Now we have to do these sides right here. This side, and this side to try to figure out what that section is. So the problem here is that this portion here is not a rectangular or square shape. So it's going to be difficult to figure out the area of here and then figure out the area of here. Because ordinarily what you would do is you would break this up into two rectangular or square shapes and figure out the square footage for each one, then add them together. So these are irregular shaped lots, so that makes it even more difficult because it's super irregular because of what's here. So what we're going to have to do now is do a little bit of math. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add up this entire side here, and we're going to add it to this side. So that gives us... So we're going to add up the figures for the top area, which is 24.67 plus 36.77 plus 128 plus 129. And we're going to divide that by 2. We're going to do the same thing for the sides, which is 74.88 plus 85. We're going to divide that by 2. And whatever we get from here, we're going to multiply that by whatever we get from here. So x and y. Well, maybe I should have called it. So we're going to x times y is basically what we're going to do. So then once we multiply these two numbers, we get this 94.78 times 117.38 equals 11,125 square feet. So this is an estimate. It is not exact because, of course, there were a few numbers after these decimals, which I did not use. Now, what I'm going to do is I can spot check what I did by, you see the lot across the street? If we were to multiply that square footage, which is 85 by 141, and it gives us, so you want to try to get it as square as possible when you're doing uneven ones, and you just take out the square portions. So for example, for here, maybe we could have cut it from here to here, and that gives us 143 feet, but yet this area here and this area are not even. So we want to try to have as even a square shape as we can if you want to do it the easy method, which would be, 20 feet, another 20 feet here. So we'd go here to about, that's 26. So then we'd come over here to about another 26. And then we come over here. Actually, I think this little tool here gives us the square footage here. It's just telling us, it's just adding all this up here. So that would be about 20 by 112. So if we multiply 20 by 112, 20 by 112, that gives us 2,240 square feet. And then we would have to make similar shaped, as square as you can get them on these other ones here, because you want to make them similar in size. So you want a similar here on the left side here and a similar feet on the right hand side. And then of course these two would also be very similar too. This is 112. Plus you've got, we would probably need a measure here just to make sure. We go from here to here, and that's 139 feet. So don't be fooled. This one here, it almost fooled me too. I thought this was 112, but this is actually 139 feet from here to here. So that would be a way to measure it. Measure area. Okay. Let's go over here and tell it to measure the area. Let's do measure area. Okay. To here, to here, to here, to here, to here, to here. And there it is. It tells us it is 13,000 square feet. Let me make sure it's done here. 13,243 square feet. So their little nifty tool here gives it to us right on the money. And you see when I did the 11,000, we were off by 2,000 square feet. But because this little tool helps us here, we're able to do it. So this is a guesstimate on what it is, and we're going to go with that number instead of our math. We can probably do the same thing over here. Let's find one that's regular shaped and see if that works. Here it is, 80 by 125. This is a regular shaped parcel. So let's start here to here to here to here. Actually, so that's 80 by 125. I hope I did that correctly. 80, 10,000 square feet. And that's what it's giving us, 9,969 square feet. So that is about right. So this little tool is very nifty. See how much work it saves us from having to do all this math all on our own. Okay, so instead of having to do our other math that I showed you, we can just use this little tool here. But if you don't have that tool, now you know what math you need to do to figure